Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining in today. Sorry for the delay. Just had to figure out some stuff there with our team ahead just for a moment. But yeah, good to have everyone here today. Welcome to YouTube Live Top Producer webinar. This is your host, Spencer, with Top Producer's Customer Success Team. And today we're going to show you how to make use of your Top Producer X CRM after you've gone through the setup process, show you some workflows, show you how to really dig in and make the most of it after, like I said, getting started. So just to cover a couple sort of administrative items here, like I said, this is 4 things you'll want to know after you set up TPX. Once again, hosted by myself, Spencer, and I'm also joined by Marvin, who's one of our research technicians. He'll be in the live chat here, also looking out for you guys, engaging with you guys, including some really useful links to go along with what we're talking about today as well. So just keep an eye on the chat as well as the video. And that being said, everyone, you can, of course, join in the live chat. Just make sure you're logged into YouTube, and that's all you need to be able to participate in the show today. We would love to hear from you guys, whether that would be, just questions, comments, if you want to share, whereabouts you do real estate at or how long you've been with Top Producer for, details like that. That would be awesome. It would be great to hear from you guys. Please don't hold back. Any questions, comments, anything you want to share with us or with fellow Top Producer users, please feel free to plug it in the chat there. So moving right along, just want to point out, maybe after the show you realize you'd like some one-on-one help. Well, just a reminder, you can always reach out to our customer care team. That's not an issue. Anytime during our business hours, Monday to Friday, 7:30 a.m. till 4 p.m. in Pacific Standard Time, via either the live chat in the bottom right corner of your Top Producer products, or you can give us a call, of course, at 1-800-830-8300. Alternatively, you can also email our help desk at support@topproducer.com. Just please allow up to 1 or 2 business days in some cases for response if you do email us. And in the chat there, hey Ali, how's it going? Welcome. Good to have you here. Awesome. So today we're going over how to organize contacts with statuses and types, making use of the built-in systems in the CRM to stay organized and to really customize it to how you like to run your business as well. After that, we'll talk about the follow-up coach, how it can really simplify your day-to-day follow-up. It's great for extra productivity. It's also great just for working your sphere of influence, your past clients, just about anyone. So the whole point of the follow-up coach is to not let anyone fall through the cracks. It's a great feature. It's built into every single Top Producer CRM. There's no reason not to use it, so we're going to cover that. After that, actually, I should say together with that, we'll also talk about how to communicate with your clients via your leads or clients via email integration, texting, and how to record details along the way, such as documenting that you've made phone calls, scheduling appointments, setting to-do reminders, things like that. And also, important things like at home anniversaries and birthdays, and of course, which properties your buyers are interested in if you work with a lot of buyers. So moving on to our first point. Like I said, we're going to talk about using contact statuses and types to organize leads and clients in your business's pipeline within Top Producer X. So, as you may or may not already know, there are 5 main statuses in Top Producer CRM for your real estate contacts. Each of your real estate contacts can fall into one of these 5 statuses usually. So, just to break them down, there is new. So, new is for brand new leads. People that obviously you'd want to reach out to as soon as possible. You may have created them as new because you haven't reached out to them yet. They may have come in from an online lead vendor or lead source of yours, or maybe even just from a website of yours, and landed in that new stage. So after you make that initial point of contact with them, you can switch them from new to engaged to signify that you've followed up with them, but they're not yet qualified. So after engage, you work with them, you chat with them for a while, you see how serious they are, if they're looking to buy or sell right now, or maybe they're more of a long-term prospect. And if they are more of a long-term prospect, you can switch them to future to signify that. And that's also where most of your sphere of influence will sit. However, if you do successfully convert them to being your active client, they're a current serious opportunity, you can then switch them to active to signify that you're currently working with them. And then, of course, there's closed after that. For closed transactions, closings, money has been made, everyone's happy, and they're now a past client, but you can always switch them back to other statuses if they present new opportunities. That's not a problem at all. So just a little intro on contact statuses there. And then there's also contact types. which are kind of subcategory. They're a lot more flexible than statuses. Some examples of built-in ones and common ones would be buyer, seller, past client. There's tons of other things in there: realtor, vendors, inspectors, etc. Pretty much anything you want to tag a contact with, you can tag them with contact types, because you're not limited to what comes with the CRM. You can add as many of your own as you want. So that's not an issue. You can really make use of contact types to customize the CRM to your liking. So that being said, enough of that slide there. We're going to jump right into TPX. If you'd like to follow along, if you haven't got logged in yet, you can go to crm.topproducer.com. Once again, CRM, Customer Relationship Management System, at .topproducer.com. Marvin can also link you to that in the live chat. If you haven't yet set up your Top Producer CRM, however, please feel free to actually just give us a call. We can walk you through that process, make sure that you do have access to Top Producer X. You could be still on the older version, 8i, in which case we definitely want to get you into X so that you can experience the newer version and all the new features. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you have not yet set up Top Producer X, or you're not even sure how to access it. Like I said, live chat, bottom right corner of your CRM, whatever Top Producer product you're logged into currently, or just give us a call at the 1-800 number and we'd be happy to help. But assuming that you do have access to Top Producer X and you are here and ready to learn more, let's go ahead and sign in. So here is the sales pipeline. Along the top here, we've got new, engage, future, active, and closed, and the follow-up coach, which we'll talk about more soon. But the basics of the CRM is your pipeline. People are everything, obviously, in a CRM. It's all about your leads, all about your clients, and what's going on with them. And you want to use it to keep track of, what you've done for these people so far, what you need to do for these people, who's important, who's not so relevant right now, things like that. So like I said, you can make use of these contact statuses to do so. It's very important to make sure that you are shifting contacts through these stages, not only for your own organization, but the follow-up coach, like I mentioned, will actually look at the contact status and, and the last touch on the record when you last interacted with them, and other variables, and bring them to your attention if they require follow-up, according to the follow-up coach, because it does not want to let anyone get away from you. It does not want to let anyone fall through the cracks. And so it's, like I said, it's your, we'll talk about it more soon, but basically contact status is very important. So let me show you an example here. Let's say I have a new lead. Let me just create one really quick. Let's call this guy, oh, actually I already have a Tim Jones, I think. Let's call this guy Ralph Johnson. Let's say, just make believe. And let's just say this is a brand new lead that came in from, let's say it's a referral. We'll select that. So now we have a brand new contact in our new stage here. So let's pretend this is a brand new lead. Either it came in from a lead source, or in this case, a referral. We've added as new. We don't know Ralph yet. We're going to reach out to Ralph and do our thing. So what we do here is we just added a new contact. In this example, we're going to click on Ralph's record to open it. And we just have a basic record so far. We've got a phone number and email address. Maybe that's all we have. We know that maybe Ralph is a buyer or a potential buyer. So let's kind of work through this record together, and I'll show you how to best update that and move him through the different pipeline stages. So we're going to go down to edit contact at the bottom. We're going to scroll down to where it says contact status and contact type. So let's say we know he's a buyer. I'm going to type in buyer and then click on it, and now he's tagged as buyer. Maybe I'll also want to tag him as a referral. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to go down and click on save contact. So now I've successfully updated his record somewhat. I know he's still a new contact. Now he's tagged with buyer and referral. So let's say in this case, I pick up the phone and I give Ralph a call. So I pick up the phone and give Ralph my pitch. Hey, this is Spencer from, let's say, Top Producer Realty. And, I heard that you might be interested in buying a new home. So I'm just reaching out to you to offer my services. Maybe we can chat sometime soon if now is not a good time. I know we both have a mutual friend, let's say Steve, in common. And, Steve said that, you're a good guy and he'd like it if I reach out to you to offer my assistance. And maybe Ralph thinks, he really appreciates that. Maybe he can't talk right now, but he'd prefer a call back tomorrow, and he'd be excited to explore that further. So what we can do then is we can then go to the task tab, and let's document that. So let's go to add task. We're going to tell the CRM that we've documented that call that's been made, and then we're going to wrap it up because we just did it. So we're going to go and click on add task. What type of task? Well, we're adding a call. We're going to say call new lead, or new, let's say referral lead. And then we're just going to click save task. And the reason, like I said, we're doing this is because normally you would do this ahead of time. You would document the task or schedule the task. But since we're just doing it on the fly, we're actually just creating it. It's pending. It's due today, but we just did it anyway. So we're just going to mark it as done by clicking mark down over here, the little check mark. So we're going to say, called Ralph, appreciated the call, wants to talk more tomorrow about potentially buying a home. So then what I can do here is basically I'm wrapping up the call saying I have completed it. This is what happened in the call. This is for my own reference. And that's part of the power of having a CRM, is that you can start documenting every detail to do with any person. So then that way you always have that backlog of information there. And, knowledge is obviously power, right? You have that history of everything that's happened. So even people in your sphere that you've slowly worked over time, you're going to have that history there. And that's a huge advantage for follow-up for potential future business. And so big tip, use your CRM as much as possible. Whether it's adding a note, scheduling a call, documenting properties that someone's interested in, let TPX be your go-to hub for everything related to your real estate business. And so going back here, what I'm doing is, like I said, documenting the call. But what I'm going to do next is, instead of just saving this wrap up, let's schedule the next follow-up on the spot. So this is kind of a way to make sure that you do not forget to schedule a follow-up. You can do it right here on the same screen. So let's say follow-up call, follow-up with Ralph. And then I'm going to set this to tomorrow on the calendar. Now, maybe Ralph didn't specify a time. That's okay. I'm just setting a call reminder saying that I have to call him sometime tomorrow. If he did specify time, I can actually select appointment. And I can set the time here. So maybe he wanted to call at 1 p.m. I can do that. Not sure why that's not working right now, but so anyway, I'm going to go with call and save that wrap up. So wrap up completed successfully. If I click on complete up here, this will show me that I've already finished that first call, and now this one is pending. So I go back to my dashboard at the top here, and what I want to do now is I want to switch him to engage to signify that I have followed up with him at least once. So I'm switching him to engage, status changed to engage. There's the note from the recent call. Ralph is taken care of for now. So I can go back here. We see my new status tab is now empty. And we obviously want to keep it as empty as possible because we want to get people to engage instead. So I'm going to go to engage. I'm going to sort this by last touch. Right now it's showing me who is the most overdue, but I'm going to sort it the other way. And we'll see Ralph right at the top there. And you guys might notice that this contact's highlighted in yellow. These are all highlighted in red. And the reason for that is because I have something called a follow-up reminder set for this tab. So you see in the top left corner, it says 3-day reminder. Well, this is an easy little follow-up reminder you can add. So I do highly recommend taking advantage of this feature because you can set it any way you want for any of your tabs, even custom tabs, which I'll talk about soon. So you can set this to 2 days, 3 days, whatever you want, any sort of amount of days, and it's going to give you this visual reminder. So people that are coming up to that 3-day threshold I've set will be highlighted in yellow. We see Rich right here is his last touch was 2 days ago. Everyone else is way past that. So they are highlighted in red. And then Ralph, we just followed up with him, so he's fine. He's not highlighted in any color. So you can see here we're effectively making use of the different status tabs to stay organized. We're sorting by last touch to check on who we just followed up with. We have our follow-up reminders in place on this Engage tab so that we don't forget. So even if, worst case, we forgot to schedule a follow-up with someone, we didn't schedule another call task or anything like that, at the very least, we have this follow-up reminder here backing us up. So at a glance, we can see who's overdue because there's been no interaction on the record. And like I said, you can set this differently for each tab. Maybe for my new leads, I want a reminder of 1 day. I can do that. Maybe for my sphere or future contacts, I want a reminder for, let's say, 30 days or something like that, or maybe 45 days. But regardless of that, they're always going to show up in the follow-up coach eventually. So see, I have a 1 day reminder for my active clients. Maybe I want to set this to, 4 days or something like that, just as a backup. My past clients, I've got set to like 120 days as an example. So like I said, that's using contact statuses, shifting people. We shifted a new lead to Engage. We can easily stay organized. So let's take this a little bit further. We see here that we've tagged Ralph with referral as well as buyer. Well, what if we wanted a way to track our referrals, to bring up everyone that's tagged as referral? Well, that's where contact types really come in, because let me show you this. All you have to do is click right on this referral tag, and that's instantly going to show you the results for referrals. You'll see the search bar gets populated with is referral. That's a way to search for contact types. Now, there's a much more elegant way to search for types as well, and to have a permanent tab you can click on, which is a custom tab. So let's go up to the top right corner, and I'll show you how to add a custom tab for referrals. So we're going to click on this little gear icon, which is the Manage Tabs button. We're going to go to Create Tab. And we're creating a tab from a contact type. Tab label, we're going to call this Referrals. And then we're searching for the contact type referral as well. So this is what the tab will be called at the top of our pipeline. This is the contact types that are in this tab, and we're going to go ahead and click Create Tab. So then what we've done is we've just created a semi-permanent tab up here. We can remove it at any time if we wish, but it says it's called Referrals. And so we can go all new, Engage, future, active, close, follow-up coach, referrals. So I can move this anywhere I want. I just click and drag it. If I want it over here, for example, I can. If I want it here, I can. Whatever I want to do with it, I can just shift it around. And I can also set a custom follow-up reminder for this tab. So if I wanted to be reminded to follow up with all my referrals every week, or, just in case, just like I said, as a redundancy, maybe I want to set it to 7 days. Let's click Save Follow-up Reminder. So then that's independent from everything else. So this is a tab focused on my referrals with a 7-day reminder. We see it's already highlighting these for me. So you can imagine all the different ways that this can be useful. Maybe you want to keep an eye on a specific list of contacts, maybe your hottest leads, for example, your most serious buyers or serious sellers, for example. You can just tag them as such. Create a custom tab, set your own follow-up reminder, and that way you'll stay on track and stay focused on them. You can also do this, like I said, for just about anything. Maybe you want a list of all the vendors you work with or other professionals. Maybe you want an easy button to click on to access the lawyers you work with or your inspectors or loan reps, things like that. Feel free to tag them as such and create a custom tab. Really use it to make the CRM yours. And, there's no real wrong way to use contact types. The right way to use them, though, is the best way to use them, I should say, is whatever makes the most sense to you. So that's just a little tutorial on contact types and contact statuses. Huge part of the CRM. Please make sure you're using them from the get-go, because if you do, you're going to set your system up for success. And it's just better to have a system than not. So that being said, we're going on to our next point now, which is follow-up coach. So I say here, let the follow-up coach be your assistant. And what I mean by that is just, it's a built-in feature. Everyone has it. And it's a great way to, like I said, make sure that no one falls through the cracks and also just be extra productive in your CRM. So maybe you've blasted through your tasks for the day. Maybe you don't have any more pending phone calls. The follow-up coach is always waiting there for you with 5 potential opportunities or 5 people that you should at least recategorize in your database or follow up with in some sort of way. So yeah, basically it's going to look at their status, when the last interaction with the record is, a couple of other variables. And it's great if, like, just to jump into, maybe you, like I said, finish your tasks, take a look at the follow-up coach, see what it has to offer. And I think you'll be surprised at which opportunities might be right under your nose in your database already. So we're going to go back to Top Producer X, and we're going to check out the follow-up coach now. So follow-up coach is just at the top of your pipeline next to your status tabs. You can click and drag it and move it around wherever you want as well. That's not a problem. But by default, it is to the right of your close tab. So the core concept of the follow-up coach is the 5 contacts a day. You can use it beyond that, but 5 contacts a day is a good start, because if you did that once a day, 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, that would be 25 people in your database, either recategorized and updated, update their profiles, or followed up with, or both. So I think that's productive, because whether you're working your database or whether you're actually following up with people, or it's productivity. You're furthering your efforts to grow your business. So here's some examples here. We have, let's see. We have a past client here, Jerry Hemminghus, right? So it says closed. Last touch was December 22nd, 2020. It says the market is shifting. Let your past client know what this means for their home. And sorry guys, just one moment here. All right, sorry, just had to check something. But yeah, so we're going to use Jerry as an example here. Let's go ahead and click anywhere on this tile to open up their record. So the follow-up coach is always going to elaborate on its suggestion when you open up the record. In this case, it says there's no substitute for personal connection. Pick up the phone or email them. So yeah, that's true. We haven't done anything since December 22nd with this person. Last task is follow up on market snapshot. So we see here Jerry's a past client. He's closed. He's past client. He was a buyer. He was a first-time buyer. So what we can do now is go down to edit contact. Let's work on his record first. Scroll down. Maybe let's untag him as a buyer since he's already bought a house. And we're going to go down and click Save Contact. So we can follow up with Jerry. We can maybe send an email. So if you've set up your email integration in TPX, this is a great way to easily send emails right out of the CRM with your integrated business email. So if you haven't done so yet, we do have a great quick start video showing you how to do that. Marvin can link you to that. But you can also contact your customer care team, and we'd be happy to help walk you through that process if you haven't done so yet. But assuming you do have your email integration set up, we're going to go to the Emails tab. We're going to go to Compose Email. And then this will bring up the editor box. We're going to click on the template button at the bottom, which looks like 4 brackets. And we're going to scroll through this list and take a look at the templates here. Let's look for something for a past client, like past client check-in, general reconnecting with the past client. Let's do past client check-in. So this one says, "Hi Jerry, hope you've been enjoying your home. It's been a busy year in neighborhood name," which you would just replace. "Since you purchased your home in year," which you replace. "The market has exploded. The average number of bedrooms home is selling for about price blank." So you can fill in the blanks there and customize the message. Let's click the trash can and let's try this again. Look at another example. Scroll down. Let's do reconnecting with a past client. "Hi Jerry, it's been far too long since we last spoke. I promise to do a better job at keeping in touch. The market has changed a lot since we worked together. I'd love to catch up and fill in on what's going on in our local market. Let me know if and when you're available." So just nice little quick past client check-in. You can of course write your own emails, but this is a quick, efficient way to follow up with your past clients, with your sphere, even new leads. There's built-in templates for that as well. So let's go ahead and click on Send Email and send that off. And using our email history, we see that's now documented in here. Just checking in. The red eye with the cross shows that they have not viewed it yet. And this is a great thing for follow-up. You can come here and check whether or not people have actually opened your emails or not. And if they're not opening your emails, that might be a good indication to change your follow-up procedures. So maybe you want to try texting instead next time using the built-in texting feature. So you just have to set that up, and we do have a video covering setup of texting. Marvin can link you to that, and you can of course reach out to us. It is a fairly easy process. You would just input your phone number, confirm by sending a text message back to the number, and then you'll be provided a virtual text number that you can then send and receive text messages with via the CRM on your keyboard. So texting is a great way to stay in touch, obviously, especially for new lead follow-up. You can just send a text right out of the contact record. A new lead's not going to be expecting a text from any specific number anyway. They don't know you yet. So I think this is a great way. I always suggest this for new lead follow-up especially. And even market snapshot follow-up, which we can talk about more later. So I've sent a past client check-in email. I'm going to go to dashboard now. Now we see the follow-up coach is still here, because how this works is it gives us the opportunity to click mark done. And then it'll say which method to reach out. You can capture details about the touch and schedule a follow-up, just as we had the opportunity to do when we were making that call task earlier. So if I were to just X out of this record, it would, however, detect that I have sent that email. So it would consider it completed as well, but there'd be no follow-up scheduled. So you do have the choice. You can follow its suggestion. Anything that counts as a last touch will be good enough for the follow-up coach. But while you have this record open, you can always take this further by marking it done and manually sort of recording details here and then scheduling a follow-up as you do so. And I highly recommend, more often than not, going the route of marking it as done in the follow-up coach yourself instead of just closing the record after. So we have sent an email. Let's go ahead and click mark done. By which method did you reach out? We're going to say email. Sent past client check-in email. And then maybe I want to schedule follow-up. Let's set a to-do. Follow up on past client email. And let's just, set this to a week. Just a lofty amount of time, a good week. Not a huge priority, but we just want a reminder to check in to see if we've received a response from Jerry via email. Maybe she's called us, or maybe he's called us by now. Whatever. It's just better to have a reminder than not, right? So let's go ahead and save that wrap up. So wrap up completed successfully. We see now sent past client check-in email was the most recent note. Last touch was that note. So Jerry's taken care of in the database now. The follow-up coach is gone. We have taken care of them. We can close out the record and we see it's completed here. So that's just an example of the follow-up coach reminding us to reach out to our past client, which is just obviously a good practice. You never know when you can harvest repeat business or referrals from these past clients. So let's look at another example now. So here's another closed client. We would kind of do the same thing. Let's look at one for our market snapshot subscribers. So if you have the Top Producer Pro bundle, which includes the CRM and the market snapshot reports feature, this one will be for you. If you don't have market snapshot, this is a great opportunity to learn more about it. So, in a nutshell, market snapshots are a custom market report that you can send out to any contact of yours. So for sellers, for buyers, past clients, new leads, it doesn't matter. It's something that you can send that's of value, that's, answers the question that everyone's wondering is, how is the market? Whether they're a past client, whether they're a new lead, everyone wants to know when the best time to buy is, when the best time to sell is. And with Market Snapshot, with a couple clicks, you can provide them with that information tailored to them with your branding attached to the whole thing, which is obviously a huge advantage. So Market Snapshot, let me show you really quick. I'm going to go to Snapshots. I'm going to go over here and view this report. So let me show you a quick example of a Market Snapshot report. As it says, it is worth the wait. So here we go. Here's a Market Snapshot graphical report. I've got mine set to a blue color theme, perhaps matching the Top Producer blue and sort of matching my shirt right now a little bit. This is more of a teal, but yeah, so got my picture up here. It's got, my phone number, a link to email me, company logo. People can browse through here. It's got average asking price, average sold price, average days on market, homes for sale. I can click on just about everything and find out more information. So whatever your recipients want to find, generally they can in here. They can look through the list of properties. Maybe they want to narrow this down. They can just simply click on the buttons here. Maybe they want to get rid of the sold. Pending expired. Now they're left with new and new for sale. Now, if they click on this satellite view, it's going to change the view to a map view, like this. So they can zoom in, they can go around. Maybe they're interested in this new for sale house, sort of near the park here, a couple blocks away. They can go ahead and click on it. It'll highlight it on the right side. They can then click on that to find out more. And this is going to provide them with the full property details, and images, pictures from the MLS. So here we've got a house with a nice little, looks like back patio, garage. Not a bad looking home, actually. Yeah, it's got like, walk score built in, neighborhood amenities, closest gas stations, restaurants, things like that, powered by Yelp. Schools nearby. Yeah, like I said, full property details on the right side. And they can click this little heart symbol up here, which will notify you. So the agent actually receives an email that says so-and-so likes this property, and it's a great opportunity for a conversation starter. So they haven't sent you an official inquiry about it, but they're showing their interest. And so this is a great way. People love to go in and click on things, bookmark it, like it, thumbs up, heart, all that kind of stuff. And so this is a great way for them to do that and for you to actually be in the know about that. So they can also send you a direct inquiry via the form here. They just send that off. It has a pre-written message with the address and MLS ID number. So great asset. Send something of value. If you want to send out a drip campaign, this is a good way to do it because you can send out a weekly or bi-weekly or quarterly report. They'll be kept up to date with listing alerts every single day about market activity. And so, like I said, as a realtor, the best thing you can provide someone is something real estate related because that's what they're expecting from you. And, you're the pro in that area. And this just shows them that is true even more so. So going back to Top Producer X now, we're going to go back to the follow-up coach. Now that everyone understands what the market snapshot is about. And by the way, if you don't have market snapshot and you would like to learn more about it, please do not hesitate to reach out in the chat and I will personally get you in touch with someone. And no problem at all. They can, we can have one of our account executives go through a demo with you and provide additional information and things like that. Just please reach out in the chat. It's such a great asset to have with your Top Producer X to provide that personal touch and send something of value and, stay top of mind with just about everyone. So, but that being said, moving on, we are going into an example of how the follow-up coach can help you with your market snapshot. So right here, this one says Carl is a future contact, could be my sphere, could just be a colder lead. It says market snapshots give your clients the market info they want and you'll be the neighborhood expert. Win-win. So I haven't sent one to Carl yet. I probably should. So let's click on this record. And so what we're going to do here is Carl, let's take a chance to update the record. When you're in here, you should always be updating the record if there's anything you notice that's missing. We see that Carl is not tagged as a buyer or seller. Maybe I know off the top of my head that Carl was a potential seller. I'm going to go ahead and edit contact. Scroll down. Seller, let's tag him as seller. Save the contact. So we've taken care of that. Let's go through the process of sending a market snapshot. So we're going to click on Snapshot Reports. We're going to click on Send Snapshot on the top right. So you do have to configure your MLS credentials first to do this. If you haven't configured your MLS in Top Producer X yet, we do have a great quick start video covering that. And as always, you can contact our customer care team. We can also assist you with that process. But let's go to Send Snapshot. So contact details, Carl, let's say he's a seller. This makes the whole target property address mandatory. So from top to bottom, this is how it works. Select your MLS. This is if you have more than one MLS you can send snapshots from. This is the contact's name, automatically pulled in from the contact record. We tell the snapshot it's a seller. This makes the whole target property mandatory because it's obviously focused on his property that he could be selling, or that we just want to provide him with, his home's value for. pulls in his email from his contact record. If this needs to be a different email, just feel free to delete this and replace it. So here's his address. There's the zip code for his address. Now see, if we switch it back to buyer, only the zip code is mandatory, because for a buyer snapshot, the bare minimum you need is just a name, an email address, and a zip code. So the zip code is the focal point of the report, and then it radiates out from there. So you can expand it in various different ways, but at bare minimum, you need at least one zip code to create the report. So in this case, he's a seller, so the zip code is, well, the zip code his property is in. We can scroll down. We could search within other zip codes to expand the report. Now we can type them in here, or just go through the list and click on them, and they will, oops, that's not what I meant to do. Let's try that again. Chrome autofills get a little bit in the way there, so seller. See, we can select from the list to add additional zip codes on here. We're just going to leave it as is for now. We can expand into other cities, areas, really break it down, counties, subdivisions, and school districts. So since this is for a potential seller, we want to focus on his property and the immediate area. So as it is right now is probably fine. We'll show him and his neighbors and things like that. We're going to scroll down to the search criteria. Single family is the default. If you need to change that, just click in search to add and click on the right family types. Maybe it's a condo. You can add condo and then remove single family, or do whatever you like. I'm going to re-add single family. Then you can customize the criteria even further. Price range, $0 to $2.5 million is the default. So you can change this to whatever you want if you want to narrow it down so that they see only other houses that are in the same price range. Same with bedrooms, bathrooms, that kind of thing. And sorry guys, just one moment. I have this huge bee that's been trying to join me in my room here every single day. So I hear it buzzing outside again. It managed to get in once a few days ago, and it was honestly like the size of like the end of my thumb here. So it was rather chubby bee. So I keep having to close my window, but I need that air circulation, so we're just going to risk it for now. So anyway, snapshot report, snapshot settings, report frequency. So this is how often they will receive a brand new report. So the default is every 2 weeks. You can set it to weekly if maybe they're a really serious buyer or seller. They want a brand new report very often. Maybe it's a past client. You just want to keep up to date with their property's value. You can set that to maybe quarterly or every 6 months. Maybe for Carl, I just want to keep him up to date once in a while. Let's set it to every 4 weeks, for example. Yeah, and Allie's got like the bee emoji there. That's exactly, it's a, yeah. It just keeps coming back every day. Like sometimes in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon, I get this visitor buzzing at my window. So, yeah. So anyway, and then below that is the listing alerts. So listing alerts is kind of the other part to Market Snapshot. This is what provides your recipients with day-to-day updates on market activity. So you can control which listing alerts they receive, whether that is just listed, price change, or just sold. If you unselect them, they obviously won't receive any. They'll just receive the report by itself, which is what they'll get updated every 4 weeks or 2 weeks or whatever in this case. And yeah, so we're going to go ahead and click preview listings at the bottom. This would show us what kind of results we would get. So currently there are 389 listings matching your market snapshot criteria. That's because we did not add a price range. So let's see, for example, if this is a real place. I'm just going to search this up. So it may not be a real place. Let's look at something in the same area. Let's see. Let's look at realtor.com here. Okay, so let's just pretend this is 841 Gapter Road. Or you know what? We could just change it. 841 Gapter Road. Oh, this is in a different area. So yeah, Gap to Road doesn't even exist in Seattle. So in that case, let's use a different example here. Let's just grab a Seattle listing. Let's just pretend that this is the person's house. So what we're going to do here is put this in here. Use this zip code. Seattle, Washington. So let's just pretend this is their place. We're going to go down and click on Preview Listings. Currently 389 listings. Let's go back. We see that this home's value is about $600,000. So let's actually set the price range to 500,000 to 700,000. So that way it's right in the middle. And then let's go and hit Preview Listings. So it may not reflect in the preview, but when you send the report, that will affect it. So let's go ahead and send this market snapshot. Market snapshot report sent successfully. Let's just click away to another tab and then click right back. This will refresh it. There's a report. We can click on this line item here to expand it. We get to see all the details about the report, like how many times they've opened it, things like that. We can click on View Report to see exactly what the recipient is seeing. So here's the report I sent them for their property. So this is focused on that property. It shows them information about the property. This home is $600K, just like it says here on Realtor.com. For comparable homes, $623K. So they can actually click on this, and they're going to see all the comparables in their area here. So we see there's 3 new for sale, 1 for sale, 7 sold. Maybe they just want to focus on the sold ones, so then that way they can see what everything else sold for. So you can see how easy this is to use. They can start browsing through these and see what other homes are worth in the area and how comparable they are, which they can, you can narrow down for them as well. So great asset to have, great value to anyone. Anyone that's potentially interested in buying or selling a home will, should really absolutely love this. So that being said, what we can do next is we sent a snapshot. What we always recommend doing is following up on that snapshot. So you can do this via email. You can do this via text message. You could, of course, call the person. But let me show you a really easy way to follow up via email using email templates. So we sent this snapshot to Carl. Let's go to emails. Using our built-in email integration, let's go to Compose Email in the top right. And we're going to go down to the template button in the bottom right here. Scroll down about over halfway till you see these yellow new tags. So market snapshot follow-up seller. Let's select this one. So this one says, "Hi Carl, I sent you a report that contains details on your neighborhood so you can see how your biggest investment is performing." And it basically explains to the recipient what the snapshot is for, what the value of it is, and lets them know that they can contact you if they have any questions. So, highly recommend this. This is one of the, this is what we would call a best practice for Market Snapshot. Please make sure you are following up on your snapshots. Do not just send them out blindly, unintended. If you send it from, a follow-up from your integrated email, the deliverability on that is excellent. So even if they miss your Market Snapshot, they don't notice it or something, they don't know what it is, they will likely see your follow-up email coming directly from you. And you can also monitor to see if they've seen your email or not. So it's just more information. You're covering more bases. And like I said, you can also send it via text if you wanted. So let's send this by email first. So there we go. Sent you a report on your neighborhood. I could also go to Snapshot Reports. I can click on it. I can go to View Report. And then what I could do here is in my address bar here, I could click on the URL, right click it and hit copy. And then what I could do here is I can go back to Top Producer X. I could use the text tab here and send them a text message and basically just copy and paste that link in there. So I don't have texting set up on here to show you, but just as an example, let's pretend this notepad is my texting feature in Top Producer X. I could just go ahead and paste that in there and say something like, "Hey Carl, sent you a market report so you can see your home's value plus what your neighbors' houses are worth as well. And then you could send that link just like that. That would send them a direct link to access that market snapshot. There's a very small chance they're going to miss that text message. And the great news is they can actually access this on their phone. The market snapshot report is mobile responsive. It will be very viewable on a phone, so they can access that on the go. So there's a little tip that you can use to make sure you get the snapshot into their hands successfully. You want to follow up on that. You want them to see the report, and you want them to get value from it. And that just makes you seem more valuable to them in return. So I'm going to go ahead and mark this as done now. I'm going to say I sent a snapshot. Also sent snapshot follow-up email. Then what I'm going to do is let's set a call, follow-up on snapshot. Let's set a call for, let's say, Monday. So then that way I remind myself to touch base with this potential seller to see if they viewed the snapshot, what they think of it, just generally follow up on it so I don't forget. So you should always be scheduling a follow-up in the system. That's what the CRM's for, making sure you do not forget to take any actions that you should. And with how easy it is to do so, you really just might as well. So let's save this wrap up. So that's documented there now. This guy's taken care of. So I think by now you probably get the gist of just how useful the follow-up coach is. It's great for digging into your database, finding new and old opportunities that were right there all along. And just like I said, making sure no one falls through the cracks. You might be focused on your current clients, on your best leads, which is perfectly okay. That's what you should be doing. But then the follow-up coach will always have a couple other people available for you to point out, to say, hey, maybe give this person some attention. Maybe you've done the bulk of your chores and tasks for today. Let's see what else we can get done. So now to look into our last 2 points here, which is reaching out and staying in touch with contacts, with clients and leads, and also recording contact details and scheduling tasks. Well, we've already kind of dipped into that, but let's go into some more specifics. So let's say we are also in the follow-up coach. Maybe we're seeing what else we can do. We come across Kate here. She's a past client. Let's go into her record. It says add a home anniversary as important dates so you have a good opportunity to connect. So here's another example of the follow-up coach looking out for you with your past clients. So we see that she's a closed contact, but she's not tagged with past clients. So let's go to edit contact. Let's scroll down. Let's click in the contact types area. Type in past client. Save the contact. And then it's saying we should use important dates to document the home anniversaries. That's a great idea. Let's go to important dates. And we already have a closing anniversary added here. So let's just pretend we didn't. I'll just delete this. So we have Kate's birthday documented. It was yesterday. We should be reaching out to her for that. But let's add a new date. Let's call this closing anniversary. Let's click on the date. Let's say this closing anniversary was February 1st. Let's go back to February 1st, 2021 and click on that. And one little thing to point out is when you're setting an important date, you either want to set it to the next occurrence, or if the occurrence was this year, the last one. So because it's going to always occur the next year after what you set to remind you. So same for a birthday. If a person's birthday is, let's say, May 5th, 1990, you'll want to actually set that to May 5th, 2021, because that was a recent occurrence. It's going to remind you in 2022. So let's go ahead and save this closing anniversary. It's now there with a little keychain icon. Birthday has a little birthday cake. So now you can see this in the important dates tab. You can go to your calendar. If I go back to February, that should be in here. Lots of stuff going on here though, so I can't really read it, but I'm going to go back to tasks. If I go to important dates, I can see a list view. Oh, let me just log out here and log back in. yeah, so if I go to important dates here, I can see Kate's birthday was yesterday. I can see this in order of here. And if I go probably to February 2022, yeah, there's closing anniversary for Kate. So I can click on that. It'll bring me right to her record. I can take action on that. It'll only have the mark done button when it's time. And then that way you can wrap it up and say what you did. Maybe you reached out and said happy birthday, happy anniversary, etc. And you can schedule a follow-up if anything came out of that call. So maybe you are, let's say, dealing with some buyers currently. And I'm sure it's difficult managing all the different buyer leads or even your active clients and keeping track of property details, what they're interested in, what you've shown them, what they thought about the kitchen, what you're concerned about the backyard, so on and so forth. Well, you can use Property Insights to take care of that. It's a very easy to use feature with MLS connectivity. So let's say you are in your Engage tab, and let's say you sorting by last touch the other way. Maybe 2 days ago, you were speaking with Rich. He's a buyer. I've also tagged him as a hot lead. He's due for follow-up. Let's click on his record. Let's say that I sent him a market snapshot recently. And let's say snapshot reports. Let's just go back here and find a random listing to use. Let's just pretend it was this one. So let's say he inquired about that property recently. I want to document that so I don't forget. Let's go to Property Insights. Let's go to Add Insight in the top right. And then we can search by either address or MLS ID with our MLS connectivity. Let's put in the address here. So I just pasted it in. And it's going to highlight it here. I can click on it. But it's also going to do that as I start typing. So let's say I go southwest. It's right there as I type it in. Oops. There we go. So active, exact same as here, as you can see. Picture pulled in from the MLS. I'm going to set the interest level to inquired on, and then save that property insight. So now that documents that here in Rich's profile. If maybe later on he was actually more interested in it after we discussed it, I can switch it to interested in. Maybe later on I showed the property to him, I can select shown. And then maybe during the showing, he pointed out some things that he really liked or he didn't like, or I kind of noticed some things that I'd have to get looked into further. I can go ahead and click on Add Note, or click it on here, this little notepad icon. So this will create a note not only on his contact record, but also linked specifically to this property. So I'm going to say, Rich, love the walkway, thinks the home is amazing. A bit concerned about the tiling in the bathroom. Looks like it could use some work. And then I'm going to go ahead and save this note here. So then you might not see the note right away, but that's because to avoid clutter, they are tucked away into the insight. So you just click on the insight and it expands the note section. You click it again and it goes away. You can click on this little link icon. This will open it up on Realtor.com if you want to quickly view the information without going through your MLS. So as you can see, it's a really easy way just to document all the different properties. Let me show you what this looks like if you are tracking lots of properties for someone. So here's another contact, Property Insights. As you can see, this would be like an example of tracking someone's whole home buying journey. Could say inquired on, interested in, shown, offer rejected, maybe made offer on this one. And you see, as soon as I select made offer, this actually gives me the opportunity to click on add transaction. So this will take us through the transaction process where we select that David is the primary buyer. It fills in all this information from the MLS. You select your representation type. You select the status, which is, it's already pulled in from the MLS, but you can set it manually as well if you need to. If you don't need to, just feel free to leave it as whatever you want. Just not closed, because that will close it out in your system. Sale price, everything that does not have a red asterisk, you can leave blank for now. You can set the key dates. And these will actually give you a visual timeline as well as like adapt any task plans you have assigned. So if you have a transaction checklist or something that you apply, which you can create with our task plans manager, this will allow the tasks that you create in that plan to automatically adapt to these key dates. So very, very flexible. You can have maybe 1 or 2 plans that you use for everything, and that will always adapt to these key dates as you update them in the future. So once you become aware of the inspection date, for example, and you have a task plan on there that says like so-and-so task is due 2 days before inspection date, it'll offer to update those dates for you automatically. You can also track your commission structure here. But for now, I recommend just going down and clicking on Add Transaction. Just create that transaction record first so you have something tangible to see and work with here. And then you can always go back to Edit Transaction after. But yeah, you can add notes on here. You can add all the different parties that are involved. You can add other agents on your team to be involved in the transaction. And you can also see tasks and task plans. Like if I wanted to apply my buyer under contract checklist here, with the start date was maybe the 1st of the month, and apply that. And then I have these dates are all overdue because I need to catch up on that now. So yeah, just a couple examples there. How to document things like important dates, anniversaries, which properties your buyers are interested in using property insights. And the CRM generally has you covered for most things related to your real estate contacts and your real estate business. So the more you get used to using it day to day, the more it's going to naturally give back to you. And if you're having any issues integrating this into your day-to-day business life, we do highly recommend that you make use of the mobile version of Top Producer as well. And let me show you how to access that. So let's open up a different browser tab here. And we are going to go to m.tp for Top Producer CRM.com. And then just hit enter. So let me kind of format this as if it were a cell phone for a second, like this. So this is kind of what it would look like on your phone. You can see here there's contacts, follow-up coach, my business, notes, sales pipeline. So you can click on contacts. Let me just sign back in. You can view your contacts. You can search for them here. You can use the follow-up coach, and it's going to show you basically a mirror image of what's in Top Producer X here. So we see these are the 2 people I followed up with. You can take action. Let's say we want to take action on this closed contact. It'll let you call them, email, send a snapshot right from your phone. And then document that and schedule a follow-up. Very, very powerful. My business is the equivalent to your tasks and calendar. You can toggle between it in the top right here. You can also create a new task. Notes is your notes section. You can filter it as well. Sales pipeline is the equivalent to your contacts page. So you've got new, engage, active, closed here. So you can keep an eye on your pipeline. And yeah, super easy for follow-up within this, because if you're in the follow-up coach, like I said, let's say, Kate, I want to take action on, let's say I can call directly from my phone. Then after that, when I back out, was the call successful? Yes. Add to activity history. Add a note, yes. Great call with past client. Wants to talk more soon about possible investment purchase. Schedule a follow-up, yes. Let's say call, follow-up on possible investment property search. Set the date, let's say to Monday. So as you can see, very, very similar to what we did in Top Producer X. You can do this all through your cell phone on the go and save that. So that was for Kate. Now, if I go back into Top Producer X and I actually search for Kate, less than a minute ago was the last touch, because I just did that through the mobile version. And I say, see, right there's a note. Great call with past client, wants to talk more soon. If I go to tasks, follow up on possible investment property search. So it's all right there. So like I said, if you are struggling to integrate your CRM day to day, please make use of Top Producer Mobile. It's going to make it much more natural to, as soon as you deal with something, you go right into your mobile version, bookmark it on your phone. You can easily add to the home screen. We do, just give us a call if you need any help with that. Please reach out. We can help you with that more. Android, Chrome, iPhone with Safari, you can add it to your home screen so it kind of appears as a little app button you can click on. Very easy to access. And that way you ensure that you are accessing it and you can get into the habit of documenting everything, whether you're at your computer or you're on the go with your smartphone. So now that's all we have for today. But before we do finish up, just want to point out some other resources you can access. So like I said, you can always give us a call. You can use the live chat in the bottom right corner of your CRM or other products. You can email us at support@topproducer.com. But besides that, we do have a whole support page and hub you can go to. Let me show you how to access that, especially via Top Producer X. So we're going to go to the top right corner of TPX and click on our profile picture. And then click on support site. So this will launch the support page. As you can see here, there's sections for TPX, Market Snapshot, our website offering, 5 Street, Top Producer Mobile, What's New section for updates. So I highly recommend everyone check out the video library. This will give you a full list of all the different quick start videos that Marvin has been linking to today. So everything from importing contacts to texting setup and usage, how to use email integration and set that up, using the follow-up coach, things like that is covered here. We've worked really hard on these videos, myself included. There's also the webinar schedule along the top. So if you did not get to this video today via the webinar schedule, this is where you access it. You can see all the different shows we do. You can click on them. Here's Getting Started with TPX, my Tuesday show. You can view it on YouTube. You can watch it here. You can set reminders on your calendar. And since you're on YouTube right now, by the way, if you guys enjoyed the content today, please feel free to give us a thumbs up. We would really appreciate that, to know that the content is useful, that you're learning from it, and that you'd like to see more. And besides that, make sure that you subscribe and click the notification bell icon. And that's going to make sure that you don't miss out on any future support and coaching content, because everything we do on YouTube is support oriented. We want this to be a place that you guys can access for resources to be successful with your Top Producer CRM and other Top Producer products. So, yeah. Another thing you can do from the support page is you can click on the Facebook button. This will launch you into our Facebook user group, where you can join in, chat with other Top Producer users, chat with Christine, who's our social media manager, learn about product updates, and lots of different things here. So it's a private group for members, for customers only. Just come here to this page, click, there'll be a button that says request to join. You should be given access within a few hours or so. And yeah. And also just a reminder, like I said, live chat bottom right everywhere you go, not only in our CRM. And guys, just a reminder as well, you can always view the recordings for our webinars on our YouTube page after the show anytime. If you want to come back and reference them, feel free to, or pass them on to other agents you work with if you'd like, or other Top Producer users. So guys, that's all we have for today. This has been 4 things you'll want to know after you set up TPX with your host Spencer, with Top Producer's customer success team. So hopefully that gives you some insight into further Top Producer X usage, showing you just how easy it is to make use of it day to day for personable follow-up, for checking in on your past clients, sending market snapshots, and really making sure that you really create a database out of it, that you have it as your go-to repertoire of information for your sphere, for your past clients, for your leads. Have that edge over, other realtors in your area that are not using a CRM, because all it takes is that one sale made with the use of the CRM. You're going to feel great. Your investment in your monthly subscription automatically pays off. And like I said, anyone can sign up for lead generation, but you might get overwhelmed with leads. What good is massive lead generation if you don't have a way to handle it? So if you're getting, 15 new leads a week, but you can only handle 5, that's so much potential gone. With something like Top Producer, you make sure you're documenting everything, staying on time with your follow-up. You can potentially handle every single lead that you get, make the most of it, and make those sales. So guys, once again, thank you so much for joining today. This has been Spencer with Top Producer and Marvin in the live chat. Good to see you guys. Feel free to join me next time. Join me on Tuesday. Feel free to give us a call if you need anything. And yeah, guys, keep on being top producers and get it done.